Please remember to post a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you can always get my latest travel videos. Monday morning from Ghent, Belgium. It was an interesting trip over here, fairly uneventful. A few things I learned is that if you look at the travel video by Margaret Walter's World, it says that it takes half an hour to walk to the city center, and it doesn't. There's a tram stop that's about a minute away from the train station. So just a tip for you if you're traveling here. Ghent is supposed to be a much nicer city to visit than Brussels, and so far it's proving to be. As you can see, this is the view I was looking at, and over there is Gravensteen Castle, I think. It's a famous castle. I'm going to do a walking tour this morning, but the city has canals just like Bruges does, and that was the main method of transportation. It's a medieval town. It's existed since the 1300s. Ghent was settled at the confluence of the rivers Scheldt and Ley. In the early 1300s, Ghent was one of the largest and richest cities in Northern Europe, with a population of around 50,000 people. Ghent is currently the third largest city in Belgium, behind Brussels and Antwerp, with a population of just over 477,000 people. This is probably the most popular view of Ghent. You'll see it in tourist postcards. It's the old town with a canal flowing through it. Very quaint, very safe, easy place to walk around. It is expensive. Belgium is expensive compared to Italy, for example. An espresso here costs €2.90, whereas in Italy it was never more than €1. So be prepared for a bit of price shock if you come to Belgium. More soon.
They're going to ring their bell 50 times, but they're not going to slow down or go around. It's too much effort.
So one of the things that you probably ask yourself is the style of architecture here in the Netherlands, or in particular in Belgium. And you'll notice that the roofs are terraced. They're not perfectly triangular. And that's because triangular is the sign of the devil. So these roofs are terraced to prevent that triangular shape. And also, the second thing it shows is the ornateness of the facade on the roof will show the level of money that the person who built the house would have. And then the center of this, the gray stone building, is the oldest building here. It was built in the 1200s as a grain storage for boats that would come up and down the river. Ghent was built on solid land. I found this out. It was not a swamp like the Netherlands. And Ghent, the word Ghent, is a Celtic word meaning confluence of two rivers. And there's two rivers that flow in through here. One is this one and the one next to it. So it was originally set up as a trading port. This is the Marriott. It's actually a luxury hotel. It takes up most of this historic building, if not all of it. And it also goes back quite far, 155 rooms. Marriott basically got the rights to this historic waterfront site and built this great property without knowing the symbolism. So they were not allowed to change the facade of the building. So they had to maintain those two swans that were facing outward. And the symbol in Europe for a building with two swans facing outward is a brothel. They're an American company, but they were forced to maintain the integrity of the building. So essentially it's a brothel, it's a Marriott. It was a funny story that the tour guide talked about. Gravensteen Castle, which is the oldest building here in Ghent, was built in the late 1100s. However, it never really was successful because it was a castle made for the owner, or the duke, who lived here. Gravensteen Castle was the residence of the Counts of Flanders between 1180 and 1353. It has since been used as a mint, a court, a prison, and even a cotton mill.
The castle is now a museum featuring court objects and torture devices, as well as a collection of historic weapons. Admission is €13 and the museum is open daily from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m.
So the castle was never conquered, mainly because it was inside the city. So anybody who wanted to take over the city, they could just take over the city. And then after they've taken over the city, they can take over the castle. So it never had to fight a fight, is the point. Gravensteen simply means count stone. Another beautiful panoramic view of Ghent. You'll notice in the distance, you'll notice two towers. One has a Ukrainian flag on it. That's also, you'll see crosses on it. And that is the Cathedral of Ghent. The tower on the left is the Commerce Hall. And this is where merchant trading was done. If you notice on the top of it, there's a dragon on it. Historically, apparently, there was a dragon. Now, what you'll notice is the tower, which is the Commerce Hall, is taller than the cathedral church. And that is basically the essence of this area, the Netherlands and Belgium. It was established so that it was a free trade zone, that trading was more important than religion. And so if you go to Germany, which is Martin Luther, you'll notice that all the churches are the tallest buildings in those towns. So in Cologne, Germany, for example, the Cathedral of Cologne is the tallest building in that town. If you go to Ulm, the tallest building in that town is the cathedral. Here, the tallest building is the Commerce Hall. Historic perspective for you. This is the Ghent train station, typical of European train stations, very nicely decorated, symbolism to it, beautiful architecture, and also very typical of European train stations is in front of it there's a plaza where you can have a picnic and surrounded by lots and lots of shops. Not typical for North America, but it's if you ever come to Europe, the train station is a great place to stay. It's also a great place to buy whatever you need.
Please subscribe, post a like, and hit the notification bell for future videos.